Right now, people are scared, y'all. And honestly, rightfully so. We're being hit with fear from every direction. Whether you love the president, whether you hate him, whether you're watching the news or watching another airplane crash on social media, a lot of folks are walking around like the future is hanging on by a thread. Fear is the loudest voice in the room right now. And fear is saying, don't take that risk. It's saying, stay where you're safe, even if it's killing you slowly. It's saying, oh no, wait till you have 6 months of savings racked up before you leave a job that is stripping away your soul, that you could do so much better than. Yeah, I get it, but honestly, y'all, I am not buying it. I am calling bullshit, and I'm sorry, but I have to challenge that notion. Let's take it back. Let's take it back 4 years or however long ago that was when C-19 happened, right? Remember what COVID taught us? It was a season ruled by fear, similar to where we are right now, but it also exposed the truth. I still feel like I don't look at things the same from them. I don't know what kind of world warp we went through, but honestly, I think that we all came out of that completely different. We saw that fear can't protect you and it can only paralyze you because we saw firsthand how everything can change overnight. I mean, look at the people who took risks during that season, right? The ones who started their channel or launched a business or walked away from something that wasn't serving them, finally listened to their spirit. So many relationships fell apart, marriages, it did really give tower moment, like everything was falling apart. But most of the stars that we see shining now planted their seeds back then. Yes, there was deep loss. Unequivocally, as my friend would say. You know, that period, it either locked people deeper into fear and restriction or it woke something up within us. There's no such thing as waiting for perfect timing, all right? So why keep playing scared? Why keep playing small? What if fear is what is keeping you stuck? What if that logic, practical thinking is actually what is holding you back from being where you are supposed to be in life? Oh, I know, shocking, crazy to say. But I believe that we are in a season that is calling for bold, gut-led, spirit-aligned, risk-taking. And I'm not talking be reckless out here, but be intentional. Not impulsive, but inspired. Especially if you've always been an outlier, okay? Especially if you've always felt a little different, like you weren't meant to fit into the boxes or the status quo. Why would you assume that the rules everyone else is playing by applies to you? All right, we have to stop treating life like it's a one-size-fits-all deal. Because if you're anything like me, stop ignoring the signs. Your body knows. Your emotions know. God speaks through them. So if you're feeling that ache, that nudge, that man, this can't be all that there is to life. I believe you're being called higher. You deserve more than surviving in toxic spaces just to scrape by. And you are not just meant to shrink your worth for a paycheck that doesn't even honor your value. I see people's potential so brightly sometimes, and I'm like, why don't you shoot for more? And it's because that fear is hindering them down, honestly believing and thinking that they can't do better than what they have right now. And our environment encourages that. You are not required to subscribe to the fear just because this economy or the news says so, all right? God is bigger than every headline, and He is the source. Not your job, not the market, not your boss. That's not what is making you abundant. That's not what is making you fruitful. That's not what is getting you by. Every day, your responsibility is to stay connected to that source. And when you move in faith, like real grounded, trembling but sure faith, God shows up. God shows up. He honors obedience. He rewards those who surrender. And fighting that nudge or that urge to do better or that inner calling, it's often what makes the process so much harder than it has to be. You know, life moves fast, but so does faith. And listen, I didn't come from an easy life, okay? No silver spoon, no shortcuts for me. In fact, I've always felt like the underdog, like the black sheep, like the one who doesn't win. All right? Growing up, my parents constantly reminded me, oh, life is not easy, life is hard. To this day, it makes me cringe now. Today, I tell them, no, it's not. Stop saying that. Because I don't want to believe that. I don't think life is supposed to be miserable or some hard quest or some freaking jigsaw puzzle. I mean, it can be. Life can be challenging, yes. I'm not saying that it's always a walk in the park, but we need that dimension. We need that contrast. It can be beautiful, it can be rewarding, it can be full of growth. And growth isn't failure, it's becoming. It can feel like failure, because it's uncomfortable, but it's not. And one thing is, we can't avoid hardship. It's part of being human. The more we try to avoid it, you know, we see this in movies all the time. The things that they try to avoid ends up being like exactly what happens in the story. But we can't avoid hardship. It's part of being human, and we don't have to let fear write our story. Yes, when you start to let go, and you start the process of walking into a new life, the enemy will send confusion your way, and it will feel shaky and it will feel scary, and you will want to go back. But clarity often comes after you take the leap, not before. And it's not going to come right after. There's going to be that little period where you're going to have to hold on to your faith a little bit more. But shortly after, huge rewards pour in. You don't need to have everything perfectly lined up to honor that voice inside of you that is saying, this ain't it. You just need the courage. You just need the courage to release what is no longer serving you, what is no longer yours to carry. That's how new blessings have space to land. That's how you reap more, all right? So, no, I don't agree with this staying miserable in a job or a relationship or a home or a situation because the world is saying be realistic, be practical, or because of this fear of not being able to get better, to do better, or oh my gosh, this is the best job I've ever had, this is the best, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? That is the exact type of thinking that keeps us stuck. I believe in betting on yourself, because if you're not going to bet on yourself, who is going to? Who the fuck will? Who the fuck will if you don't bet on yourself? All right. I believe in God's timing, and I believe that with everything inside of me, this is a season to rise. Right now, the sun has been making more appearances. It is the springtime, okay? But I'm not just talking about on your calendar. Your spirit is ready to bloom. And this is your sign to focus more on what you want than what you're afraid of. Can we keep our eyes on where we're going, not what we're afraid of happening? This fear, this anxiety, this is how the enemy keeps us stuck and exactly where he wants us to be when we're thinking about all of these things that aren't even like, it's more illogical that all of these horrible things happen than and it just makes it so much more complicated. Like, can we just focus on where we want to go, where we're headed? You are more powerful, more talented, more needed than you've been giving yourself credit for. All right. And don't let fear rob you of becoming who you're supposed to be, who you were created to be. This is your season to rise. Feel the sun. You know, we're leaving behind the winter, we're leaving behind the year, we're embracing our lessons, and we are focusing and marching into what we want, the life that is made for us. Q2, let's go. All right. So I hope that this message was for you. I hope that you heard something that you needed to within this. Thank you so much for watching, so much for listening, and stay you. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.